Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining. This is breakout session number 2, and we're going to dive into how your organization can participate in the bidding process. This breakout session is best suited for organizations who are familiar with and capable of fulfilling large capital contracts and are exploring the opportunity of bidding for the contracts with the Government of Canada. So, with that being said, I'd like to introduce everyone to Danny Arseneau of Procurement Assistance Canada, or PAC. As a key member of PAC in Atlantic Canada, Danny advises and educates Atlantic companies and industry associates about the federal procurement process, as well as the Innovation for Defense, Excellence, and Security program, which seeks innovative solutions to help resolve defense and security challenges. Danny is a proud Canadian Forces veteran with over 25 years of service with the federal government. Thank you for joining us, and on to you, Danny.
Thank you, Samantha. Really appreciate being here. Thank you all for attending my session. I know there's great other session too, so I'm really glad you can attend to mine. So as mentioned, today we'll discuss about bidding on opportunities with the Government of Canada. So it's a good follow-up from this morning, all the great session we received this morning. So this afternoon session will be a fantastic follow-up to this. So I will start by share my screen, and so we can start right away. I'm not sure. It's kind of freeze now. Hopefully my computer is better than you, Samantha. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was good. Does everyone see my screen? Good, perfect. So again, another presentation. So sorry about that in advance. And I'm a bit under the weather also, so I'll do my best to don't lose myself in my own word. So today, as mentioned, we're going to talk about bidding process, different tools we can use to help you, and how, try to explain the best on my knowledge, how we can go from here. So first of all, what we are, Procurement Assistance Canada. The title said it all. Like we dare to assist suppliers like you, to know better federal procurement, through the federal procurement, and understand the process, how to register, how to find opportunities, how to get security clearance, see all the tools that we use to get contracts, all the links, etc. My presentation will be available later on. So if you need more info later on, I can always share my presentation. That's not a problem. So if we go into all the details, we offer a lot of contracts to smaller and medium businesses. We're talking about 74% of contract is less than 1 million. For the federal government, 1 million is a small contract. And we offer a lot of opportunities for smaller business. And on that note, just to mention that we purchase everything from soap to maple syrup to plane to boat to everything. So it's not something, one of the questions I got for so many years, does my business is too small? No, we purchase from even a sole source company. And we purchase everything? Is yes. So we purchase a lot of stuff. Example again, so for the prison, for the D&D, National Defense on the base. So we purchase everything. So just on the side note there, I know there's a lot of number, but just to let you know that we purchase everything. Competitive procurement. So we purchase on buy and sell. So on buy and sell, every time we purchase something over 25 grand and $40,000 for service, 25 grand for goods and $40,000 for services, it needs to go on buy and sell. That means you'll get the bidding option to against other potential suppliers. On buy and sell, we use four main tools: invitation to tender, request for proposal, standing offer, and supply arrangement. I'll explain more in details what those are. It's just to say that, again, that slide is if we do purchase under 25 grand for goods and $40,000 for service, but we can purchase directly from a supplier. So a DMD can call you right away and purchase a goods or service from you under that threshold. That's only that threshold is only to go on buy and sell. So as mentioned, the type of tools that we use to purchase, this is the main one: invitation to tender. Invitation to tender is basically something that we buy, example, off the shelf, goods off the shelf or service off the shelf. One time, we need something right away. So is the way we use those invitation to tender. For those one is always the lowest price. So it's if we purchase a bottle of water, 25,000 bottle of water example, we don't need any specific to them. So we always go to the lowest price. So that is one of the main tools that we use. Another one is request for proposal. It's the same kind of idea. We purchase, it's the same kind of idea, so one-time deal, one-time purchase, but a bit more complicated with a bit more specification, a bit more technical expertise, but the same process again. The only difference with that one is not necessarily the lowest price. It could be go by points or technical expertise on that. I know it's a lot of specification, but again, it's not that simple. Another one is standing offer. So the next two will be standing offer and supply arrangement. Both are basically the same. Standing offer and supply arrangement is when we purchase a lot the same item on a lot the same goods. So what does that mean? If we have a list of pre-qualified suppliers for standing offer, and those list of suppliers is again for items that we purchase a lot, service that we purchase a lot, and they have a fixed price to it. So we know exactly how much it costs right away. So when suppliers are on those lists, we have a price tag beside the goods or the service. Supply arrangement, same idea as the standing offer, but without the price tag. So sometimes it's an item that varies. We saw that with the COVID, with the mask, the PPE. So the price was varying a lot. So we use supply arrangement instead. And the difference between the two is the same idea. It's a suppliers list, but we need to contact suppliers to get the price tag when we want to purchase something. Request for information, it's when we want to purchase something, but we don't know the specs of it. We're not specialists on anything, basically. So we ask suppliers to bring up with ideas. We ask suppliers to bring up with ideas how to come up with something we want to purchase. For example, we want to buy computers, but we're not sure what's the specs for it, what the new specs came out this year. So we ask supplier to come up with what's the new technology for it. After that, we will come up with the tender notice on the later hand. I know it's a lot of info, but to be more maybe on that, it's Government of Canada purchased 5 different ways. Directly from suppliers under the 25 grand for goods and 40 grand of service. Over that threshold, it needs to go on buy and sell to be fair with everybody, so everybody can bid on it. That's called tender notice. After that, the last 3 is list of suppliers for something that we purchase a lot. Basically, is that it. So it's just 5 tools that we use to be able to get the products as faster as possible and the cheaper as possible. So we'll try to go a bit deeper on the bidding process, and it's a lot of info. So I'll try to explain the best as I can. And again, if you have questions later on, we'll have a session have time for question. If not, my door is always open to talk with you for one-on-one. We have webinar, etc. So just on the side note. So the 5-step for bidding for the federal government. So review the solicitation document truly. So we'll go through them with you. Decide to bid or not. Seems silly, but it's a really, really good question. You have to ask yourself. Collect information about your bid, preparing your bid, of course, and submitting your bid. Reviewing the solicitation document, we will go through it through the solicitation document one by one. But it's quite important to read all the terms and conditions truly. There's a lot of terms, there's a lot of conditions, and it's quite important to go through all the solicitation documents. Every tender notice who goes on buy and sell have document at the bottom. You'll need to read them all, basically. So as mentioned, we'll go through a solicitation document. Again, today is really about details. It's really about how to bid. So it's quite important that we go through those documents. So the part one is the general information, how to bid. Is general description, obviously, and the summary of requirement. So you would know right away if you can bid or not. The bidder instruction. So it's containing all the instruction, the clause, the condition, the challenge, application laws, etc. So it's really more in details of all the instruction and the clause and condition. So that's the second part. The third part is the bid preparation instruction. So that's I would say the meat of the document itself. So all the page number, all the copies that are required, how to bid, the technical. So it's really the meat of the solicitation document. Evaluation process, how that tender notice will be evaluated. And I can't here today is more general, obviously, but because of every single tender notice, every single document up there is different. So it's why I can't say something, okay, we're going to evaluate that way or that way, because every document will be evaluated differently. Obviously, if we purchase a pen, it will be quite evaluated differently than if we purchase a submarine, as an example. This is the certification. There's certification that you need to provide. Example, it could be certification on your experience, could be certification on if you're contractor, example, it could be some document on that note. So it's quite important that you read truly because every single certification will be required, no exception. Resulting contact clause. So it's more when the work needs to be done. So some work needs to be done, example, construction again needs to be done by that date, or delivery needs to be done by that date. Some other clause like that, but again, it's general today, but there's a lot of clause could be in those contracts. Statement of work, again, more specification on nature, what is required, it's a good or services. Summarize what's the project, why the background of the project, what's the objective of it, just the behind why we came up with that project or why we came up with that purchase. Other possible annex, security, we see that quite a lot. Geographic region, evaluation criteria, it could be other annex could be added of it. So it's the reason why I'm saying that when we start, you need to read all the document from A to Z. It's quite important, don't miss any step. It's a lot of info again today, so I'm sorry in advance. Hopefully nobody fall asleep, but it's a lot of documents, a lot of stuff to read, but it's really important for you to understand the process, really important for you to know that you need to go through those documents. The step 2, obviously, does your business is capable to bid. You know, you need to have the how can I say that, the financial behind it to be able to to bring from that date. We see that a lot. Like if you have a date from the 31st December, are you able to meet the capability until the 31st December as an example? So you really need to bring you ask yourself those questions if you're able to bid or not. Security requirement is just one slide for this one, just to explain what it is. It's not every single tender notice to have required security clearance, just the one, or you required access to a building, you required access to any federal document or anything like that. So example, in translation, you need to translate a protected document. It would make sense that you need a security clearance. So if you need more info on security clearance, you can always contact me later on. We have a special office in Ottawa who do just that. But again, and we can give you more info on that, obviously, but just to let you know that it's possible that you will require the security clearance at some point. Collect information about your bid. Again, it's more like we're going through the steps. So at this point, it's important that since you already read throughout the document, that you know what you need. Some you need paperwork, some you need, again, certification. So it's quite important to bring all the document all together. At this point, if you need security clearance, it's come to bring forward, okay, what you need and when. Prepare your bid. So preparing your bid, you have a quite step you can't miss. So you need to, every evaluation criteria or every information need to be filled out. So it's quite important, and you need all the signatures. It sounds silly, but I saw that so many times. You send out your bid, it's not even signed. So it's quite important, and without the signature, your bid will be rejected right away. Every single document, every single requirement need to be filled out. Again, technical, as mentioned, like everything need to be a read, and make sure you fill out all the fields. The requirement, if the requirement is not met, you will obviously be rejected right away. And throughout the evaluation process. So it's quite important that you prepare your bid accordingly. It's a lot of slide again, I'm sorry, but it's the way it works. Again, preparing your bid, you need, at some point, you need to introduce an introduction of your business need to be there. You need to introduce your team, your subcontractor, if you have any, all your member. Your documentation, you need to be supported by your resume as an example, and other qualification, if you have any, related to obviously your tender notice. It will be mentioned if you need any in the tender document. Financial side of view, same idea. You need to be sure that you need to mention all the costs, how you will separate the costs throughout the project, if it's a project. If it's just a good, obviously it's quite simple. It's just to add up all the costs clearly. See if it's 25 pen for $25 each. So we need to be clear what's the amount of it, especially if we go by the lowest cost. Submit your bid. So before the closing date, that is quite important. It should be underlined there. Since we're in the Maritimes, it's not a problem. If it's a bid is another province, if the closing date is another province, it's not the same hour. So you have to be careful. So if the bid is closing at 2 p.m., it's not 2:02, it's not 2:01, it's 2 p.m. So if you send your bid at 2:01, you will be rejected right away. So again, be sure that you read everything truly. I can't stress enough. It's 90% of bid received. It could be something they arrive at late, or they miss some document or some information. So it's why I'm stressing a lot around that. I don't try to, to be, how can I put stress on you, but it's the way it works. ePost is the tool that some use. It's not all of them. Construction, as an example, don't use ePost at all. So ePost Connect is through Canada Post. It's the tool that we use to receive bid. So again, through a solicitation document, I will repeat that quite often today. It will tell you right away how do we accept the bid. It could be through fax. It could be through e-post. Again, Canada Post is one of the tools. It could be directly by mail, paper, again. So it will be clear how do we receive the bid. It's quite rare that we receive them by email. I see that a few times, but it's quite rare. So be careful that you read correctly how do we receive your bid, because if not, again, we'll be rejected. How do we select the successful bidder? Different ways that we would select them. Lowest price, as mentioned earlier, is one of the main one that we use still today. But we have other tools. We could use an overall value of it. So it could be very technical criteria, and it could be through points. Every single one is different, and it's clear that demonstrated in the solicitation document which one we will use. So again, if it's the lower price, it will be stipulated there. It could be also the highest technical versus the budget, meaning by that, if it's something really technical, we will use probably more that one than the lower price. And it's quite important that we use those to be able to get the best price, the best goods or services for the price we have. So it's why we don't always use the lowest price responding bid. Frequent reason for non-responding bid: mandatory requirement not met. Quite simple. Minimum requirement points at specific section not achieved. Again, if it's a point basis contract, if you don't get the points, you don't get the contract. The bid exceed the level of funding for the project. We see that a couple times. We want to purchase wood, 2x4. We need to purchase wood for something, and someone came up with a bid at $600,000, right? So again, like you need to be, we need to be fair. We have a specific budget for every single item that we purchase. So it's the reason why some bid could be rejected. And mandatory document not included in the bid, as mentioned again several times. That's quite important. How can I follow up? So you can always ask for debrief if you're not satisfied, or even if you're satisfied, you just want to know why. You can always contact the person, the point of contact. Every single tender notice on buy and sell have a point of contact in there. So you get their name, email, phone number, email address, everything is there. So you can always contact them and to get a debrief. So why you didn't win, and you can learn from it, obviously. So it's quite simple. If you're not happy with the answer, or if you think something's wrong, you can always contact us. We're there to help. We can give you the right contact info. The ombudsman is there to do an evaluation. Is his job to make sure everybody has a fair trade. So the best practice of bidding, again, this is just a resume. I'm almost over. This is the practice to make sure that you follow truly the bidding process. So organize your bid to make sure it's precise, concise, and precise. All terms and conditions need to be truly met. On the mandatory criteria need to be met also. Respond to all the sections. To follow the bid preparation instruction. If they ask for 20,000 copies, 20,000 copies, and it's already in here, but if they ask for 3 copies, fill out 3 copies. Fill and sign, again, all the document, all the sheet that require a signature, and submit your bid on time. Again, this one is not stressed enough. I see a lot of bid arrive late, and it's that simple. It's just that simple. Your bid will be rejected at 2:01 or 2. And please don't wait last minute. I can't stress that enough. A bid is open 45 days or 30 days, and we receive 20 bid at 1:59, just the day of the closing, right? So it's quite important if you can. Obviously, it's not everybody who can, but if you can send your bid earlier than later, it would be awesome. And contact the contracting authority if you have any question throughout the process of the tender notice. First day, you went on buy and sell, you see a tender notice that you could bid, but you have questions. The contracting authority is there to answer all your questions. If you have anything, you're not sure if you can bid or not, they can help you out with that. Or example, we're looking for pen, but we didn't mention if you want a blue pen or black pen, ask. We're there to help you out. Just a quick note on EPS. EPS is electronic procurement solution. As mentioned earlier, we still accept a lot of different ways to bid, fax, paperwork, and etc. etc. We're moving along. It has been postponed to 2022, spring 2022, but EPS, Canada Buy, .canada.ca. So Canada Buy will replace buy and sell. The plans behind it is to be more green, be more electronic. We'll have an app on our cell phone. We'll be more able to bid. Everything will be in that system. That's the plan anyway. And everything will be electronically more up to date when you're 2021, almost 2022. So it makes sense now to do it that way. The old system is, I think it's 30 years old. So we're still working in that. We still give more work to our procurement officer also. With the new system, will be a lot easier. Everything will be there. I went to, I received some training so far on that system. It's a fantastic system on the supplier side. They'll have an option for supplier to have to create, to partner together. They have a section on there, to be able to, if you see questions that other supplier has on that tender notice, you'll see them right away. So it's a more open concept, and it's fantastic so far. So I can't wait to that come up. Hopefully spring 2022, but with COVID, it's been postponed. So during that transition in 2022, when it come up, it will be they'll post on both buy and sell and Canada Buy for a certain period of time. That's the plan. So don't be stressed out to miss any opportunities. You'll be able to see them in both systems. Us, back, Procurement Excellence Canada, we offer a webinar like this one today. But we offer several others, like how to do business with Government of Canada, how to get a security clearance, how to find opportunities. That's a good one. Example, that one gave us the opportunity to show you how to get email notification on buy and sell. We have Info Cafe. If you just have a question, you can pop in. We have Info Cafe on the weekly basis. So that's more an informal kind of thing. It's on lunchtime, and you can stop by and ask questions. We offer also, as mentioned, one-on-one. So you can meet with us more specifically on your business. So we can set up anytime on one-on-one. I'm in New Brunswick. We have someone across Canada to help you out. So I'm not sure if you're in New Brunswick or not. But again, one-on-one, we're there to help you out. We're there to show you if we did purchase in the past, any opportunities, and the way it works. That email address is our head office in the Atlantic region in Halifax, and the phone number is there. And again, I will share that presentation later on. Feel free to contact me also. Jedi, I have all my information if you want to contact me directly and you like my nice voice. And I can obviously have a one-on-one with you guys and talk more. And actually, I really encourage that to do so. We have a lot of people, mention to me that, they don't necessarily like webinars because it's too complicated, it's too general. So they prefer one-on-one. Obviously, it's a more direct approach, and actually makes sense. Question, like I go to the question. So I'll stop sharing my screen so you can see my big face. And it's going to be a lot easier. There we go. So sorry if I was quite quick and quite in details, how the bidding process, etc. But as mentioned, it's not something simple to explain. But I think the big keynote here is any contract over 25 grand for goods, 40 grand for services will be on buy and sell to give the fair chance to everybody to bid. We use several different tools, so it depends if your business is in what department are you, or what you offer as services was good. You could be on a list of suppliers if it's something we purchase a lot. If not, it could be just a tender notice. Buy and sell, it's a website. It's been there forever. I think it's like 12 years, 13 years. So you can see all the previous contract. You can see who kept the bids, what's the amount was, who purchased it, etc. So it's really a nice tool. So I would, if you're not already aware of buy and sell, I would consider you to, I would recommend you to go on buy and sell and review it, and make sure you can find opportunities for your businesses. That being said, I think I went a bit overboard the details here, but again, like, I'm here to answer any question. If you have any. I know I'm not perfect, so hopefully I'll try to do my best to answer all the questions you may have. I think I saw one in the chat. My mic rubbing on my chest. Okay, sounds good. Sorry about that. My goodness. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Sorry about that. I didn't know. Samantha, you're on mute, I think.
Sorry about that, Danny. I was like, do I tell him directly over?
You should. You should
I
have.
wait? So my apologies. I should have interrupted you.
Oh my
Thank
God,
you
sorry.
so much, though, for giving that thorough presentation on the bidding process, because I know it's new for a lot of people to be going this route. So I was wondering, are you going to be able to share that presentation? Is that something we could pass along to people as well?
Of course. Yes, I will send it later on after this to you guys, so you can share it for sure. It's a neat presentation again, and as mentioned, it's a details one. But if you have any question later on, I could share my info also, so anybody can contact me anytime.
Okay, perfect. And I was also wondering, is there like a email list that we could get on to know when your info cafes are, or when the upcoming webinars are? Is there somewhere where we could register for that?
Yes, of course. So to be more details on that, it's right there on buy and sell. On the main page, right hand side corner, all the webinars are there. So we post webinar on there for the next 2 months in advance, so you can book in advance. We have webinar across Canada. That means we have the same webinar. It's the same webinar, basically the same information is there, but the advantage for you guys, it's different hours. Obviously, someone in Pacific will have some, presentation for you will be around 3 p.m. this afternoon, or for us, normally it's in the morning. That being said, I can always, there we go, event calendar, yeah, it's right there. Or I can always, what I'll do, I'll share that link also in my email when I will send you my presentation. I have to hold my my mic to be sure you don't. Yes.
Question for you.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm just looking at the search capability on the buy and sell site.
Okay.
Are you able to search for work that is less than 25,000 or less than 40,000?
No, you won't be able to. It's okay. So again, it depends on what sector exactly you are. The only less than 25 grand for goods and 40 grand for service, the only one you'll see on there is throughout the list. So if we purchase something throughout the list, you'll be able to see past contract, but you won't be able to see new contract. So for 25 grand and less and 40 grand and less, you'll need to contact directly the department. So if you want to sell to D&D as an example, you need to contact them directly. It's go both ways. So if they can purchase, if they need to purchase, if they have the access, the authority to purchase under 25 grand, it's go both ways. You need to contact them to be able to sell their goods or service.
How do you find out about opportunities in a specific department? Let's say the example you had was maple syrup.
So it's quite complicated, to be honest. It's not that simple as you think. There are certain group, every department have a group procurement officer who are the one who purchase it. So again, in my email, my email is getting bigger and bigger. In my email to Samantha, we can share. It's called a Get. So it's basically a yellow pages. It's a directory for everybody. I'm on that. So and we can share that. Every procurement officer are on that list. So you can contact them directly and promote your business, basically. Again, I'm not sure in what field your business are, but the first step to it, what I would say, it's to set up a one-on-one with us. So we can sit with you exactly, and we can help you, guide you more specifically who purchased it, right? And not necessarily who that person, but who the department may be. And we can send you up, in the right direction, because I don't want you, to lose 2 months to send email across the board for nothing, right? It's kind of silly. So it's why we're there. Again, it's why we're there to help you out, to guide you a bit more and to see how you can find those opportunities.
Okay, I may put you on speed dial.
Okay,
I work with a lot of small businesses in New Brunswick, and you're just finding out what opportunities might be available. Like I said, anything from maple syrup to welding.
Okay, it's tricky, and it's not. It's the reason why we set up a threshold of 25 grand for good and 40 grand for services. If not, it will be we need to be cost effective, right? If you want to purchase a pen, it doesn't make sense to put that on buy and sell for 45 days and evaluation, blah blah blah, right? We just need to buy a pen. So it's the same process for anything. Is the reason why the threshold exists. But again, I know it's more difficult for you guys as smaller businesses to be able to get a contract. So it's why we're there. Welding, we have suppliers list. So welding is existing. So we have a list of, because we purchase a lot of welder services. So we have those lists. So that's a different thing. For maple syrup, obviously it's a more tricky one, only if we need to be precise. D&D, purchase maple syrup, and CSC for the jail. So it will be the two main department if we go to those one, obviously. But again, it's why I mentioned earlier, put me on speed dial, it's not a problem, and we can discuss anytime. It's my job. Basically, it's my job. I'm doing that on a daily basis. And we can hopefully aim to more focus your suppliers to be able to find the best opportunity for them. And it actually, it seems more difficult for you, but it's actually easier because obviously, if you get the right contact, they can purchase directly maple syrup from you. Where they don't need to go through a contract, big contract throughout Canada, and sometimes overseas can bid on it. So it's a lot easier for you guys for that under that threshold.
Okay, one last question.
Take your time.
The thresholds of 25 and 40,000, is that per contract? Is that per purchase order? Is that per year? How does
it's
that?
Contract. Yeah, it's contract. Okay. It's by contract. Yes, and it's tax in.
Sorry?
And it's tax in. So it's with tax. Yeah, it's tax in. Yeah, that's one of the other questions normally people ask. Is tax in or tax out? There is tax in. So it's but it's like I said, it's a nice tool. It's harder to get in, but as soon as you get in, maybe not the right word, but as soon as you start to get contracts, it's getting bigger and bigger, obviously. So yeah, and we purchase a lot under 25 grand and 40 grand per service. We purchase a lot. So
well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
no worries. Let's see, note there. Okay, good. I'm holding my mic, so make sure I don't hear any sound. So I was all serious there. I was all normally I'm not that serious, but today I was serious because I'm under the weather. But normally I'm trying to I give more example, more I try to be more precise and give more example. But today I was more reading my notes. Hopefully it wasn't too boring.
No worries. It was good. Thank you so much. And I guess I do have just one question, because you do speak about preferred vendors now and a list for that. So how would a business go about getting on to that preferred vendor list?
Okay, so those preferred vendor list, it's I think someone mentioned it this morning. So those lists open 4 times a year. And supplier is obviously, we don't have a list for every single item. We have lists for something that we purchase a lot. Welding is something that we purchase a lot. So we have lists of pre-qualified welder who can offer their services. So those lists, as mentioned, open 4 times a year. So you can find those lists on buy and sell as the same as another tender notice. So to jump on those lists, to be able to participate on those lists is quite simple. It's not that as technical as others could think of. Something as simple as your name, address, experience, etc., business number. You know, it's not something exhaustive. Some are more complicated than others. Since some need a security clearance, as an example. So that it's that simple. Buy and sell. The list will be there 4 times a year. You need to be evaluated. And if at some point, if you're on the list, you receive an email, you're on that list, and we need a welder tomorrow, we can just jump on that list and contact 2 or 3 welder. So the way it works. It's to the reason of those lists is to facilitate the process. Again, if we need a welder, we need it now. So it's the way it works. And those lists go from $1 to over $100,000, right? So it's those lists. It's quite important that to know that if we need a welder, it doesn't need to be over $20,000 or $40,000, right? I think the main difference there, if it's a bigger contract over $100,000, we send that contract to everyone on that list. So to give the chance to everyone to bid, not to bid, but to reply. If it's something for, I don't know, let's say $50,000, it's 2 suppliers or more. So we decide obviously what's the requirement are. So those lists is the way it works. We tend to use that more and more, obviously, because we kind of repetitive in the government of Canada. We kind of buy always the same stuff. So we tend to have more lists than less. So so again, buy and sell, and you navigate to buy and sell. I'm sure you'll be able to find those lists.
Great, thank you. Are there any other questions for Danny?
It raises another question about the list that you asked.
Yes,
Samantha.
go ahead.
When somebody is trying to give 5% of their procurement budget to an Indigenous business, can they search on the list for Indigenous-owned businesses?
When you're registered, they will ask. So the way you registered, you have to fill out a form basically, and you'll be able to. As Indigenous businesses, you'll be able to select if you're one or not. Okay. And when we obviously, if we're going towards that we need an Indigenous business, we will see it right away. Okay, great, thank you. All those info we see them all. So when you're on that list, we see all your info. It's quite important. That's bring me to another point. It's quite important to keep all your info up to date, because if you change address, you change name, you change whatever else, we need to contact you, right? So if it's possible that we won't be able to contact you if something, your email is wrong, example, right? Great, thank you. Yes. Anything else? No. Sounds good. So I can close the loop by saying again, we have people across Canada, and we have every single region. We're there. We are the same. We have the same message, the same tools, the same contact, and we're there to help you out. So that's our job. From scratch to finish. I'm not sure if it's the right sentence to it, but anyway. So from the registering part to up to, even if you already have a contract and you have questions about something else, we're there to help. We always answer in general. We don't give any precise answer on any procurement tender. Reason is simple, right? We need to be fair with everybody. But that being said, we're there to help you the best as our knowledge and the best that we can. So and I'm here in New Brunswick, so in Moncton. So anybody else need help, I'm here to help you out. And hopefully when COVID's over, I'll be able to meet you in person with a round of coffee. I can do that also. So cross fingers, almost over.
Thanks. I don't know if I'm going to know how to speak to people in person when COVID's over. It's,
Yeah.
I'm so accustomed to this online virtual. It's a little scary, intimidating. But
Yes.
thank
With
you,
no
everyone.
mask.
Yeah, with no mask.
No mask.
But thank you so much for your presentation, Danny. It was really informative and
welcome.
very helpful. So I'm sure you'll have people reaching out to you. I know my team is definitely going to be in touch with you as well.
Sounds great.
So if there's no more questions, then we can head back to the main room.